here we are. We're at Highland Terrace Recording Studio, Nature Sanctuary, or the entrance into the Nature Sanctuary. And this is Steve Munn, Clairpoint Center, and I'm with Natalie Griffin from Inspired Earth.
Yes.
I love that name.
Thanks, me too.
How did you, well, you're a shaman, you're a yoga teacher, you really combine some really beautiful elements and worlds into your practice. Where did Inspired Earth come from?
That's a great question. You know, I think that for the longest time I've had Inspire with me. That's always kind of been a hallmark for me. And the way that I feel like I have found so much fulfillment in my life is by reconnecting to the elements of the earth. Really getting out on the earth, getting in the ground, getting in the oceans, getting on volcanoes. I feel like that has been a way for me to really reclaim who I am. So I want to share it with people because it's awesome.
I know, there's nothing like connecting to the earth.
Yeah.
I want to mention you are barefoot on a nice patch of moss there.
Oh, it's so soft.
And that's one of my favorite things to do. So.
I'm doing it in your honor. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Roger Ingram, the keeper and homeowner here at Highland Terrace, asked a great question. In one or two breaths, what is a shaman?
It's hard to do in one or two breaths, right? But, you know, traditionally, shaman have been people that are really connected to nature. And shamans see that everything is a part of nature. They believe that the world is a benign world. There's not good or evil. But there are seen and unseen elements in nature. And a shaman can kind of walk between those worlds of the seen and the unseen and bring things into wholeness, help people find those maps that bring them into wholeness. Again, help them almost remember their original nature. It's all there. We just sort of forgot how to read.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, to remember our original nature.
Yeah.
And like connecting with those elements. And you know, I've often heard that most of what goes on in the world is unseen.
It's true. It's true. You know, you walk in a room and you know immediately, like, oh, I'm going to like that person, or I don't feel it.
Yeah.
We know things.
Right.
We know things.
And you mentioned in our conversation earlier about people connecting to their calling and their purpose in life. And
Yeah.
one thing that stands in our way, can you speak a little bit about that one thing and, you know, in our calling and purpose in life?
You know, it's great because I was working with my partners in Chile and we were talking about this, and what we decided was really the thing that keeps us from answering the calling most fully is most of the time fear. We're afraid of standing out, afraid of ending up alone, we're afraid we'll fail, we're afraid we'll succeed. And whatever those fears are, kind of make us hold back on the reins. And oftentimes we'll know where we want to go, and something will hold us back, and most of the time it's that fear. And so when we come into ceremony, fire ceremony or water ceremony, you get a chance to really shed those fears and see what's beneath them, because usually what's beneath them is immense power.
Do you think we're living in a time and age where a lot of people are asking more about their calling and they're living their, I heard it the other day, living your essence.
Ooh, I like that.
If you need to move.
I know, the smoke is following me. My dad was right.
Brother Smoke.
Smoke follows beauty. My dad.
Right on.
So yeah, living your essence. What were you saying?
And
Yeah.
how in this day and age where so many of us are kind of asking that question, like, what is my essence, or what is a calling in my life? Or I find that sometimes a calling doesn't necessarily come as something pleasant, but as a sickness or a pain or a divorce or, you know, tragedy. So what has been your experience with that?
Yeah, I refer to that as the spiritual 2x4. There's usually, most of us won't surrender enough to actually hear our calling until we're in immense pain. And for me, it wasn't until I sold my business, sold my house, I lost my mother, I experienced extreme grief. I never thought I'd be happy again. And it was in that on my knees moment where I thought, I can actually hear the yearnings of my heart here. And that's when I really heard the call loud and clear to do what my soul was calling me to do, which was to step into this place of medicine person, which what in the world is a white girl from Ohio going to do in a medicine world? But it was there and it was real. So yeah, I think those callings do come in a lot of shapes and sizes, sometimes after tragedy. And that's when you have to grab them. Those moments sometimes are very fleeting, and you have to go for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned that you've been, as a white girl from Ohio, traveling down to Chile and Costa Rica and to areas that are the heart of where these traditions stem from, but you're been called to go there to help, like reinstall this wisdom.
I know, it's interesting. It started for me a couple years ago. I got called to be of service to the Seneca Nation in Buffalo, New York, and they said, well, we need a medicine person. There's this illness. And I said, well, where are your medicine people? And they looked at me and said, they're gone. And many times they've left this earth without sharing the wisdom. And I think that's happening to a lot of indigenous cultures. We have the luxury here in the West. Most of us have food and shelter, so we can seek out these deeper purposes and esoteric things in life. We have that luxury. And I think because we have that luxury, there's also a responsibility to reconnect people to that wisdom that lies inside of each of us. And it originated all over the planet, in high mountain societies, jungle societies, desert communities. But many, many people are getting called back to it, called back to the earth. The time is now.
The time is now.
Yeah, yes. It is.
What you said too just now about luxury, having the space where we're beyond, living in North America or America, you're beyond just your physical, most of us got our physical needs met, even though at times that's even challenging. But when you have your physical needs met, it gives you the opportunity, and like you said, the responsibility to follow higher callings, or to look deeper within our spirit or our soul, or ask kind of the deeper questions.